Is Armaf Club de Nuit Precieux the best Club de Nuit? I've been through multiple bottles of the EDT. It's one of my all-time most complimented fragrances, and nowadays I'm rotating through them all. I finally bought Club de Nuit Precieux, and it feels like it's been a really long time since I bought a Club de Nuit, so this is going to be really exciting for sure. I did not feel any rush to buy Precieux when it came out because I do have the other three, and they are basically doing the same thing but in slightly different ways. But I've had so many subscribers in my comments saying that Precieux is the best Club de Nuit, so it's time to find out. So let's start with the price. I paid about 60 bucks for 55 ml, and it's been out for some time now. That pretty much makes this the most expensive one, since most of the others can be found in bigger bottles for less. I think the limited edition is more expensive, but price per ml should be cheaper because this is in 100 ml bottles. Now, if you're a subscriber, which you are, right, come on, hit that subscribe and that notification bell right now. Then you know that I'm not that much into the box. I'm all about the juice. But I gotta mention the box here and the overall sort of a package. The box is actually a pretty nice one, and they boxed the whole thing quite thoroughly. And in the package, there's also a polishing cloth. However, which is a nice thing, but when I tried to polish this thing right here, it got scratched pretty much straight away. So yeah, nice box and all, and the cloth is also a nice thing, but yeah, what does it matter when the bottle gets scratched this easily? But I just said it's the juice inside that matters, so let's move on to what it smells like. Okay, this is an interesting opening, and I guess I was expecting something Aventus-ish and something that sort of would smell like the other three. But this, in the opening at least, and at least based on my very first sniffs of it, opens up with a tiny bit of freshness, so like a citrusy kind of freshness, and quite a prominent dose of something that is sort of fruity sweet. This is like a big dose of a lot of things at once in the opening, and pretty much straight away in the opening I get that sort of a woody oak moss-ish kind of scent in the background as well. So Club de Nuit Precieux, based on my first sprays, opens up with a bit of freshness, like a dose of citrusy freshness with quite a prominent dose of fruity sweetness, and you have this woodiness in the background. And pretty much straight away I'm getting something that in a way is sort of Aventus-ish, but not quite. It's also sort of like some of the other ones in the line, but again, not quite. And I think, and again, this is just based on my first impressions of it, that this has quite a toned down dose of freshness in the opening. So with the others, your nose is pretty much hammered with quite an intense dose of freshness. The freshness in Club de Nuit Precieux is definitely quite noticeable, but it's also a lot smoother and right away also a lot easier on the nose. And another quite noticeable difference is the intense fruity sweetness of this, which I really don't feel you get in the same way in the others. The more it dries down, the more woody it gets. You can really feel that oak moss coming through together with some kind of woodiness. And I also feel that the fruitiness and the sweetness of it is even more intense the more it dries down. And the further away we move from the opening, the clearer I feel the differences are. And the main difference is that I don't feel Precieux has the same intense kind of freshness as the others. They toned down that intense freshness and pretty much replaced it with a bigger dose of fruitiness and sweetness. And I'm really not picking up on the smokiness that you can find in the EDT and the Eau de Parfum. So I've already done a battle between the limited edition, the Eau de Toilette and the Eau de Parfum. I'm gonna link to that one above, so make sure you check it out. Drop a like on this video and let me know in the comments if you want me to do a full comparison of Club de Nuit Precieux and the other ones. But without doing that, I do feel that Precieux is in a way sort of based on the limited edition, because I do get that same kind of smoothness, but it doesn't have the more intense dose of smooth freshness that the limited edition has. So you get a bit of Aventus vibes. This one, however, pushes a big dose of fruitiness and sweetness. The dry to me is mostly about that oak moss together with quite a prominent dose of woodiness. You have quite a prominent dose of sweetness and fruitiness as well, with that famous pineapple. When it comes to the vibe of Club de Nuit Precieux, this in a way sort of gives me the same vibe as the other three. So like a mix of something classy with a bit of sexiness to it. The bigger dose of fruitiness and sweetness in Club de Nuit Precieux does give it a bit more sort of a flirty vibe. So here are my initial thoughts on compliments and mass appeal. I know the CDNIM sometimes, at least in my comments, gets a bit of hate, but they are absolute compliment monsters, and I do feel that this, in a way, is even more mass appealing because of its smoothness and because of its more intense dose of sweetness. Club de Nuit Precieux definitely falls into the same kind of mass appealing, compliment getting kind of category as the others. When it comes to performance, I really gotta wear it more, but I do feel, based on how it oozes from my skin and how it stays in the air around me, I do feel it's pretty much on the same level as the other ones. But keep in mind, these have been through quite a bit of usage. I do think that these might actually be a little bit stronger than Club de Nuit Precieux, but I could be wrong. If you have compared the performance of Club de Nuit Precieux and the others, please do share how you feel which one's the strongest. So here are my thoughts on usage, so like seasons and occasions, and I pretty much feel the same way about Club de Nuit Precieux as I do about the other ones, in that you can use this fragrance pretty much anytime, anywhere, throughout the year, throughout all seasons, and to pretty much any occasion. Wear it to work if you want to, and most people will most likely think you smell really good. Definitely wear this on date nights, because this DNA overall is a fantastic compliment getter. Now I wear the others throughout the year, and I've even worn these to the gym, and I do feel they definitely work to pretty much any occasion. But I do want to say that when it comes to summertime, I will definitely enjoy this summertime, but this won't be something I'll be reaching for when I want a big dose of freshness. This has a bit of freshness, but I don't consider Club de Nuit Precieux a freshie. But I also do not think this is a fragrance that is very heavy or deep. So who's Armaf Club de Nuit Precieux for? I think that if you know that you enjoy that sort of a Creed Aventus DNA, then I think you'll most likely enjoy this. However, if you are super sensitive to what Armaf is doing, if you don't enjoy the others, then there's definitely a chance that you won't enjoy this, even though I do feel this is probably, together with the limited edition, one of the smoothest of them all. But with that said, I do feel that Club de Nuit Precieux goes in its own way. So I don't feel this is super close to Creed Aventus. I also don't feel it's super close to the others. This definitely has a bit of that Creed Aventus vibe and DNA, and it definitely has some similarities to the others in line, and at least based on this first impression, I feel it mostly has some similarities to the limited edition. If you like woody, fruity and sweet fragrances with a bit of freshness, then I do think there's quite a high chance that you'll enjoy this one. But if you know that you don't enjoy that sort of a Creed Aventus DNA, and if you really didn't enjoy the other Club de Nuits, then there's definitely a chance that you won't enjoy this. So what are some of the alternatives to Club de Nuit Precieux? I highly recommend to check out my Armaf Club de Nuit battle. In that video, I put the limited edition, the EDT and the EDP against each other, and I share which one is my absolute favorite. And I do feel that all three are alternatives to Club de Nuit Precieux. Now, some people absolutely hate that massive dose of citrusy freshness that you get in the others. But if you prefer something that is more intensely fresh, then definitely these three are a better choice than this. And another alternative I thought of that is basically doing the same thing as these, but in a slightly different way, is Afnan Supremacy Not Only Intense. This is really nice, but these two are not 100% the same. What are my final thoughts on Club de Nuit Precieux based on my first impressions of it? Do I think this is the best Club de Nuit? And I really feel I gotta do a proper comparison between all of them so that I know for sure and so that I can share my thoughts on that. But with that said, the dry line of it is definitely my absolute favorite part of this, because I do feel that the fruitiness and the sweetness and the woodiness are coming together in a really nice way, and the dry run is actually quite smooth. The dry run is really nice, and I'm happy that I bought it. I'm not 100% sure, and I really gotta do a comparison if I think it's better than the limited edition, because I do love the fresh side of the limited edition, and I overall think this is a fantastic, more balanced and smoother blend of that sort of a Creed Aventus DNA. So yeah, I really enjoy it, and this is definitely going to be my scent of the day. Now, I would absolutely love to know how you feel about Armaf Club de Nuit Precieux. Do you think this is a fantastic fragrance? Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you dislike it? Share your thoughts in the comments. And I would also love to know if you think this is the best Club de Nuit. Check out my other Armaf videos over there. Please drop a like on this video. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe.